Hey guys, welcome back to the series. So this one is just a warning, if you will, uh, or a piece of advice. Let me put it that way: a piece of advice for you to be careful. And why do I say that? For those of you who are in positions of leadership, and even if you're not in a position of what we call or what most people tend to call leadership, that is the position with a title and all of that. Um, you by any stretch of the imagination need to deal with people, and when you're dealing with people you need to be a bit circumspect. You need to be careful when you're dealing with people, especially if you want to be the person or the sort of person that exercises some measure of impact or influence. There's usually a desire for us to be able to impact the people that we're working with, or the people who are following us, or the people who are in some sort of relationship with us. If you're building anything that is of value, you necessarily need to work with people. But the danger in that, and something that we need to sidestep, really comes with understanding that not everybody that you relate with, irrespective of whether they have a smile on their face when they meet with you or not, really has your best intentions at heart. Now, this is not to say that they're necessarily wicked people, although there are wicked people, people who are up to no good at all. Um, Beyond those sets of people, what we really need to realize that people ultimately are really concerned about themselves, which is not to say that they are bad. It's just how human nature tends to work. People are ultimately concerned about themselves, and they're looking out for themselves. In most cases, ultimately they want to benefit themselves, right? And you need to keep that in mind, because when you're working with people and you're pouring out yourself into them, which is something that you need to do as a leader, or as a person that has some influence, or a person who wants to bring about change of some form. When you're working with people, you need to pour out to them, but you need to remember that the fact you're doing that does not necessarily mean that they're going to reciprocate. Right? You need to understand that fact very, very clearly. The fact that you pour out yourself into people, the fact that you help people out, the fact that you come through with money or whatever it is, or pieces of advice, or that you take people's challenges on your head, um, does not necessarily mean that they're going to reciprocate, especially when you are in need, especially when you are in trouble, especially when you're going through challenges of your own. I think it's pretty clear for those of you who have done a bit of study of human nature, or who have listened or read stories about people who have gone through adverse challenges, or even if you've experienced some of these challenges yourself. What do you tend to see? You tend to see that when you're struggling, when you're going through adverse circumstances or challenges, the people that you call your friends, or the people that you tend to look up to you, the people that you thought looked up to you, or the people that you thought would come through for you when you really need it, um, tend to disappear. Like I said, it's not necessarily because they're bad. It's more because they're looking out for themselves, and at that point, the overriding conversation within their minds is usually, um, doing this thing for this person, or being seen with this person at this point in time, does that really help me right now? If the answer is no, they're most likely not to come through. And it's a hard truth. It can be a painful truth, but it is the truth. It's really what tends to happen. I've experienced it myself several times, and that's just human nature. But the main point I wanted to bring out to you, despite this, is you need to pay attention to the people who don't leave, because those are the people that you need to draw closer to yourself. Those are the people who would be with you through thick and thin. Those are the people who would stand by you no matter what, through hell and high water. The people who won't leave your side despite your pain. Pay attention to those people. Pay attention to those people whose passion does not decrease in spite of your pain. Those are the people that you want to call into your inner circle. Work with people by all means. Love people, relate with people, part yourself people, but pay particular attention to those people who do not leave your side when you're going through issues. Those are the people that you need to invest most of your time in, right? So it's just something for you to take note of as you continue your journey.